everybody who is on the group can follow us live. And let's see here. Share.
I think there are a lot of contradictions in how everyone's feeling about the group versus their own individual games.
I just heard myself.
It's really sad because we're all going to walk out of here, and this group is
Echo.
Well, no, I'm on YouTube. Whoa, Jesus Christ, kitties. Stop it. Oh my God. Can you get them like a room? They just like pulled out my whole cord.
Those are cats.
Okay. That's crazy. Sorry about that, guys. And no. Okay. The cat just did a front flip off the couch. I think he's dead. No, he's not dead. Okay. We're done. No. Why now? The kid's already went to bed. Sorry, guys. Are we still here?
Rumble over there.
We're here.
You're not kidding. Like they just, if you can see them in the background, I don't know if you can or not. They're fighting.
I see a couple black shadows running around.
Yeah, it's crazy. Sharing a group. Craft Brews. Makes for great radio, let me tell you. And post. All right. So that way everybody in the group can get a live take, and then we'll capture the audio like we always do. So 3, 2, 1. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Fantasy Brews, brought to you by the Craft Brews Geek News Facebook page and podcast. I am your host, Broodboy813, joined by two awesome people that are going to fill us in on all of the juicy nuggets of information from this past week's fantasy draft or fantasy football and taking us into week 5. Alex, how you doing tonight?
Doing pretty good. It's not bad for a Wednesday.
There you go. And computer is updated as of this morning, so no issues there.
Yes, everything's updated. Everything's working. Triple checked. I'm good to go this week.
Awesome. And as long as Corey's phone is up to date, or Corey's method of technology is up to date,
New iPhone.
We are joined again by the one and only Corey, Rooster Dude. Sorry. How's it going tonight, buddy?
Pretty good. It's been a couple weeks, but looking forward to it.
Awesome. Well, let's go ahead and dig into it. So, are any of you guys sharing anything tonight? As far as, did you bring anything to the table to share with the listeners on what you're drinking or what you want to drink?
Yeah. I've got cracking a new one open. Cracking Goose Island's SPF.
Okay, I've had that. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know. I was gonna crack it open tonight. I'd give it a try. It looked good. My wife said it was good, so why the hell not? So I'll give it a shot.
I usually like going to Publix, and they usually have the Goose Island on buy one get one. Was that the deal this week, or was it full price for a $6?
I don't know about Publix. Pretty sure we picked this one up at Party Liquors up on 41. Right by Crabwood.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a good spot. That's not far from my house.
That's a fantastic spot. Corey, what do you got tonight?
I got water. Still recovering from a cold, but it's coming up on pumpkin beer season, and I know Escape's, I think, releasing theirs this weekend. So I definitely want to get over there to try that.
Excellent.
That same release is something that I'm planning on getting over to this weekend just to try that one. Yeah.
That's on this weekend, Friday?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not sure if they're releasing it Friday or Saturday or Sunday. I don't know which day, but I know at least one of those days I'm getting over there to try it.
That's awesome. I'm actually a little disappointed in myself, and it's probably just more so timing, because when I was on the cruise a couple weeks ago, Craft Life put out their message that the pumpkin ale that they brew, that Tim brews out there, was on tap. So I reached out to Tim yesterday. Hey, man, when's that gonna? Yeah, exactly. My same reaction. I reached out to Tim yesterday, and I go, hey, man, I'll look forward to see you Saturday. I said, when is that? Or we're gonna come to Craft Life afterwards. I said, is that pumpkin gonna be on tap? And he goes, dude, where you been? I said, well, here, but I was on a cruise. He said, it's almost gone. I was like, what do you mean it's almost gone? And he goes, there's hardly any left. He goes, but I'm gonna see if there's any bottles that I can put aside for you. So he's actually got 2 bottles I'm gonna get from him on Saturday. But yeah, it's all gone. I'm like, I never saw a post. I never saw.
No, never heard anything. I can't remember if anybody had told me or mentioned it or said anything. I don't. Damn.
You got to save me one of those bottles, Ryan. At least to split with you.
Absolutely.
I've never
Absolutely.
had pumpkin ale. So.
Nope. One I'm gonna split with Phil on Saturday. The other we'll put in the fridge for you, my friend. So, so that we can take care of that. But yeah, I was so disappointed because, I'm gonna actually talk to Tim next time, and next time that beer especially is put on tap, he needs to post that to the Craft Brews Facebook page. I don't care what else you post on your page. Post that in there. All right. Well, for me, just some teasers here. So we've got the Golfside Hospice event coming up this week. It's on Saturday. Alex, I think you said that you were going to try to get to. Corey, I know you've got some awesome plans. I'm sorry I can't be there for your plans, but Alex, you plan on coming out this week?
Yeah, I'm going to try my best. We've got some. There are going to be some of the great local breweries there. You got Ignorant Ales, which is coming out. You've got Craft Life coming out. You've got A1 Bay. Big Storm, of course, is going to be out there. You've got the big guys, you got the small guys, and it's for a great. I mean, it's definitely worth going out there.
Absolutely.
Is Ignorant Ales? Do they have a location yet? Or are they still quote unquote still home brewing?
Yeah. To my knowledge, actually, Ashley just cracked open the Blackberry Vanilla, which is a barrel-aged sour. Sorry, that wasn't Ignorant Ales. I thought that was a good tea up there. This is from Procrastination. Oh, I didn't know we were cracking into this, but thanks, babe. All right, you're pouring it. No, so I don't know if Ignorant Ales is going to be set up anytime soon, but I will find out on Saturday what their plans are and relay that back to everybody.
Well, I'm still waiting on Liquid Garage over here in Trinity to
yeah,
it's been I don't know what the issue is with permitting.
The city, I think that there were septic issues. So one problem at a time, but they've really put through and because they were supposed to be open in January. So,
yeah. No, I've tried some of their stuff coming through Brew and good guys, good beer. So looking forward to have another good place down there.
And let's not forget Crazy Eddie's Garage, Keg Brewing. They're going to be there serving some of their delicious beer. Crazy Eddie, of course, is a friend of the show and a personal friend of ours. So looking forward to trying some of his beers and talking with him. And last but certainly not least is going to be myself there with Phil and a couple of friends serving the Jalapeno IPA. And unfortunately, bad news, guys, the Belgium hard water did not ferment when I was on vacation. So quickly put something together with vodka, orange juice, and pineapple juice, and that is in my keg carbonating. So to be a carbonated concoction, craft cocktail, if you will. I'm actually drinking some of it right now just to share it on the podcast. I think it came out really good, and so that will be there in place of the Belgium hard water. So, Alex, I think last week we talked. Any releases coming up for many breweries? I don't know if you got anything new to add to that. I just wanted to reiterate it.
Nothing in particular that I can come to mind. Corey was saying that the fall seasonals are popping up every week, whether it's local or whether it's one that distributes in this area. A new one's popping up every week. Just as soon as they get them ready to go, they're sending them out.
Awesome.
Great. The fall seasonals are definitely a type of beer that I think people who have different taste profiles, they all like the fall seasonals. Like It has something for everybody.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. Especially the Oktoberfests, the pumpkin beers, which some people give a bad rap to. They probably just didn't have the right one because they never went to Craft Life. Certainly looking to check out Escapes.
They do, man. I never understood that whole bad rap. I mean, I get it. There's some ones out there that are a little over the top, but it's time of year. It's cooling down a little bit. Hopefully, bonfires, pumpkin ales, s'mores, all that good stuff.
Oh,
yeah.
God, I could go for some s'mores.
So I have to tag you in this. Do you follow Unrefined Brewing, Alex?
Yes, and I was just there. I don't follow. I was just there 3 weeks ago, I think.
Okay. Well, they have one. It's like a S'moreos or something. It's a stout. I tagged Corey in it today. All the marshmallows, the Oreos, and everything. I will not miss out on that. We will be there front and center. So help us God when that gets released again. So
I made dip Oreos.
Yeah.
Dude, the ultimate compliment to a stout. All right, guys. Well, we are here because not only beer, but for NFL fantasy football news. How did your teams do this week? Did you get plagued by injuries, or did you win? Did you lose? Bring me up to speed. Let's start with you, Corey, and tell me how your teams did this week. Just one or two of them. I know you're in a couple of leagues. So
yeah, I'm in 3. I'm 2-2 in all 3 leagues. So I guess not bad, not good either.
Better record than the Steelers. I mean,
yeah. So I'm still in. I still have a shot. I would say all 3 of the drafts didn't go. I won't go all the way back there, but didn't go as planned. But for what I have, I think I'm working it pretty well. So yeah, so 2-2 in all 3 leagues.
Well, and you've got Gurley.
No big injuries. Yeah. Well, the league we're in together, I have. So that's a tougher one. It's 14 team league. So the running backs are really hard to come by. But I have Gurley and Fournette. Fournette finally, he was killing me. Fournette finally had a good week last week. He had 220 yards rushing and another 20 receiving yards. Yeah, that came out of nowhere.
Wow.
So that was a good week. And I have Miles Sanders as a rookie. I'm starting him in the flex because again, it's such a deep league, and he's got a lot of potential. They're giving him a few more touches every single week. I just last week was kind of a bummer that Jordan Howard stole all of his touchdowns. So
don't you hate that?
Yeah, you're gonna have it. But overall, can't complain.
Well, and I know Gurley finally got you some points too. I think he had 2 touches.
Yeah, a couple
touchdowns.
He had 5 rushes or 6
yeah.
rushes for 15 yards and 2 touchdowns. But hey, I'll take it.
They're saving him for the playoffs, right? Is that the Rams scheme this year?
They're just trying to not get him beat up. Yeah,
let's not blow out at his knees in the first 5 games like we did last year.
Yeah, tire fell off last year.
Yeah.
But
he got worked.
I've been pretty fortunate with injuries. I mean, I have Emmanuel Sanders. He's a little dinged up, but I think he's going to play. James Conner's a little dinged up. He'll play. I did pick up in our league. I was the number 1 waiver wire. I had the number 1 pick on the waiver wire, and I went for Jalen Samuels from Pittsburgh.
Explains why I didn't get him.
Well, exactly. I waited, and so I had the number 1 waiver wire pick. My brother used his last week. He had the number 1, and I had the number 2 for the first 3 weeks. He used his last week on Gallman for the Giants because Barkley got hurt. So anybody that was even worth considering was Jalen Samuels, and if they use him, the Steelers use him like they did last week. He's going to be a decent flex play.
Which we'll touch briefly on that game. Of course, the Steelers are going up to the Ravens against the Ravens this week, and I liked those formations that they were calling with the Wildcat and having the either he pitched it off or ran it up. I thought that gave us some diversity. It was a little unexpected, a little bit out of the ordinary. It wasn't the definition of an insanity, which is what us Steeler fans were getting used to.
Well,
so I liked it.
I see two sides of the coin there. I'm at the end of the day, I liked it because it showed that finally, for the first time in years, and you can attest to this, after the first quarter, they realized, hey, we can't run the ball up the middle with the offensive line has been struggling in the run game. So after the first quarter, they made an adjustment, and they just have never made adjustments like that before. So it was kind of cool and encouraging to see with the Wildcat and all the different kind of plays they were running. So I don't know if they're going to be able to do that every week, but they're going to have to start to keep that creativeness going forward if they're going to put up points, because the defense the last 2 weeks has been looking pretty good.
Yep.
And they're going to be in games if they keep playing like that. But if the offense, they beat up Cincinnati, but they should have put up 35 or more against that team. You know what I mean? That's what if they play a good football team with a good defense, I still not sold quite yet on the offense. There's just a lot of young guys. Ben's out for the year. I think there's a bright future with a lot of those guys, but I don't know. I don't think this is the year. They might hang in there and be competitive in that division, but either way, I just don't see any team in the AFC beating New England or Kansas City.
No,
those two are just too good.
Yeah. Well, and we'll go into that a little bit more here towards the end of the show when we do our picks for the week. Talk about real quick, and then Alex, I want to hear how your week went. I've got in my in one of my leagues, I've got the Steelers and the Ravens defense. Who do we play this week?
Oh man,
that's one of those ones. Like I don't want to touch it.
I don't want it. I don't want to do it.
As much as I hate to say it, Baltimore.
I don't know.
I can't deny that either. I mean, yeah, we've been playing well, but it's a mobile quarterback, which a lot of teams have a hard time with. They've got wide receivers that are fast. They can break for touchdowns real easily up against the middle. It's just.
They have Hollywood Brown, who's a deep guy.
Yeah.
Mark Andrews is becoming. I liked him a lot coming out of college at Oklahoma. He's becoming a pretty big tight end threat. He's huge.
They got Snead.
You know how Steelers are at covering tight ends.
We crumble.
Even with Jackson, even with Jackson, I mean, their running game can carry the game too. So, that's your call, man. I don't know.
I'll flip a coin.
I would feel how much of a Steelers fan I am, but I would just feel more comfortable starting the Ravens defense this week, just because. I don't think the Steelers could win the game, but I don't foresee them still putting up a ton of points.
So I think go with it in that mind. We can win the game, but have Baltimore not get annihilated on defense, and I could still get some points out of it.
It might be an old school Baltimore Pittsburgh kind of game.
You know what? I'll take Baltimore getting 5 sacks, 5 turnovers, but us still winning the game, so I can get all my points up that way. Okay, maybe we'll go with the Ravens defense. Alex, bring us up to speed on what's been going on with you and how your teams did this week.
Horrible, absolutely horrible.
Okay, like an unfermented beer. Got it.
Oh my god, it was so bad. I had a decision to make with my quarterback choice paired with the key positions. And I was either going to go with Brissett for my QB or Winston.
Oh.
And
so you went the safe route.
I went the safe route. The safe route with Brissett. And
yeah, but
the bad part is
Ryan,
I also benched Godwin.
Oh.
Yes.
You know what, Alex? You probably had that look on your face. Like, was it Jimmy Fallon in the Catch? Was it, or the Greatest Game? What was it? Whatever that movie he was in, where he was the Boston Red Sox fan and he always goes to the games. And his friends call him because he goes out on the date and he's like, "You're missing the greatest game in the world."
that was basically it.
I start over Godwin, Alex.
Oh damn!
You know, while he's looking it up, I was going to tell you, Ryan, I heard a stat today, and it was pretty interesting. Brissett is probably he's still available in a lot of leagues on the waiver wire. He's the only quarterback right now in the NFL that has 2 or more touchdowns every week of the season. So that's pretty impressive. I don't blame you, Alex, for starting the safe.
Yeah, no, I had Sterling Shepard from the Giants.
Okay.
Oh, well, Giants are showing something with
A little bit.
was it they call him the Daniel
Danny Dimes.
Dimes,
Danny
Daniel
Dimes.
Dimes or something, Danny Dimes, yeah. So I mean, they might have something there. You never know. But I think you played the safe call. You played the better call, just with everything that's been going on. Nobody could have predicted that they were going to score 55 points. It could have been 56 if they would have scored an extra point at the end. The kicker missed again, second week in a row.
Especially against last year's NFC champs.
Right.
Taking a team that barely on the map, taking last year's NFC champs and making that good of plays against it, like
it was at home too. It was at home.
Yeah.
And, I was in one of those pick'em leagues where you pick a team. You know, week 1, if you get it right, you move on. You can't pick the same team. And I thought that was the safest pick out of any game last week. And let's just say I'm not in the pick'em league anymore.
So, did any of your teams? Oh, actually, I got to do mine real quick. I lost both leagues, and one of them was my fault. I texted you earlier today. I told you I think somebody's going in behind me and changing my lineup here. I didn't play fucking T.Y. Hilton. Like, I lost by 6 points, and he put up numbers.
Week 1 to you, didn't it?
It did. It did. Oh no. It happened week 1. Fortunately, Robert's team sucked, so I was able to pull that one out. I would be 2-2 as well, but no, I didn't play T.Y. Hilton for whatever fucking reason. I don't know. And
I gotta tell you, Ryan, if you somehow make the playoffs in that league, and you can tell everybody about your team, I'm sure they know the last few weeks. But if you somehow make the playoffs with that team, that is damn impressive.
We're that's about the odds are about as good as me winning the lottery for 150K. All right,
it's probably the most unlucky team I've seen maybe ever.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm right there. Like, I've lost games, but I haven't lost terribly. Last week was bad, but I haven't lost terribly.
No, you haven't. Lamar Miller, Tyreek Hill, Drew Brees, your tight end Hunter Henry. I mean, the list just keeps going on, and then you end up benching T.Y. Hilton 2 weeks. I mean, I don't even know how you have one.
I was like, you know what? He's going to get injured middle of the game. I'm not even going to play him, evidently. So, yeah, I did. I texted Corey today. I'm like, man, this sucks. Like, somebody's going behind me and sabotaging my field of play. But no. So, yeah, I lost both leagues and picked up a couple, made some changes. I really love it. No matter how bad or good he does, I got Minshew with the Jags, so I'm happy with Uncle Rico right now. But he's questionable for this week, so let's go ahead and talk about injuries because there are some guys that got injured on our team. So, but there's some questionable guys. So Minshew is questionable for me. But in one league, I've got Emmanuel Sanders. Corey, you've got him too. He was limited this week in practice with a quad injury, and
he should be good to go though. He should be good to go. Yeah, I guess he told some reporters yesterday or today that he's fine. He's still listed as questionable, but I don't think it's going to be an issue.
He was questionable last week, and then he went and put up big numbers. So. Yep. Hopefully nothing to be too concerned. I kind of wish the Steelers would have kept him now knowing the outcome of the whole AB shit. But yeah, well, we won't harp on that too much.
The league I did lose last week, and I had him on the bench, and I had Stephon Diggs on the bench too because he didn't do anything the first 3 weeks, and they both decided to score points last week.
Isn't that the shit? Like that's just why that's why I don't gamble. Yeah, you never know when somebody's going to do something.
Especially, I feel like more than ever in today's NFL. I just feel like there's so many. I mean, it's hard to find a consistent player. or is it just me? I feel like there's so many players that are either boom or bust. Could have a big
Jameis
one week and then
Winston.
the next
Jameis
week-
Winston.
Did you sneeze? God bless you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, because in the same team last week, Miko Hardman, right, with Tyreek Hill out, he looks like he's a burner there in Kansas City. Mahomes throws darts. I thought he had a great matchup, so I started him over Emmanuel Sanders, who was nicked up, and he hasn't been blown up, this year. And then same with this Stephon Diggs, and then it backfired. I had negative 0.1 with Hartman, but what are you gonna do?
Well, Mahomes didn't really have the greatest game either.
But he still scored
that
20-some
defense was but I don't. Did he even throw a touchdown? I can't remember if they said
did not score a touchdown, but he still threw for like 350, so he still scored.
and they still won the game. So it's like, what do you do? You can't, if your quarterback's not getting the timing he needs, or whatever the situation is, you can't account for that, and that's why they call it fantasy. So, Alex, did you have any injuries on your teams?
I have an interesting one that's not. It's kind of an injury, but not quite yet. I've got Indianapolis Colts player Marlon Mack.
Oh yeah, I saw that. So what's going on with him?
Well, so he left in the fourth quarter with an ankle injury. Now, they didn't say anything. They didn't say, he's not coming back. He may not. They haven't said anything definite. From what I've heard is he's been at practice. He's fine. But I'm kind of like, he had an injury bad enough to leave the game, but then turned right back around and was back at practice. Like, is he overextending himself and just trying to tough his way through it? Which, I've paid attention to his playing since he was at USF, and so to see something like that, it's just a weird situation.
You think he's feeling pressure from who's the other back they have there, Hines?
Yeah, he's going to have Hines right there. Hines wants his position, wants that, and he knows that. But I'm just worried about him overextending himself. Like,
guys, sorry to cut you off. I just realized we have a question from somebody. If you see in the right-hand corner of the screen, it says AJ Brody wrote a question: when will DeAndre Hopkins have his big game? So somebody on YouTube actually commented and wants to know when, which is actually kind of cool. So real life question here.
Can you pull up the schedule, Ryan?
Let's see. You want to see?
I can't with my computer phone.
Let's see. What is he still with? No, he's not with Houston. Who's he with?
Yeah, DeAndre.
He's still with Houston. Okay. Houston Texans. For some reason, I was thinking of the other guy at KC.
This guy's probably thinking, "Why am I asking him?"
Yeah. So let's see. They play Falcons this week, 1:00. Next week, Chiefs. Then following week, Colts, and then the Raiders.
I would say the next 3 weeks are he's primed. I don't think any three of those defenses are very good right now. Keanu Neal for Atlanta's out. Is it in Atlanta? So if it's in a dome, Hopkins usually plays very well in domes.
It is no. It's at home.
Well, either way,
yeah.
So he's a start every week. So regardless, but he will in the next one of these next 3 weeks. He's going to have a big game. I think it's more of Deshaun Watson hasn't been playing like his normal self.
You think that first game affected him? They lost in the last seconds of the game, or was it overtime? If you remember week 1, it was a great fight between them and I forget, was it New Orleans? I want to say.
Yeah, the Saints.
I mean, that was a tough loss. You think he's gotten over that? You think he's bounced back from it?
Yeah, no, I don't think that's the issue. I don't. Their offensive line isn't the greatest right now, and I just don't think Watson's been playing very well. But I think that gets turned around. At the end of the day, I think The Texans are probably the third or fourth best team in the AFC.
Yeah.
At the end of the year. But one of these 3 weeks, Hopkins will have a big game.
'Kay.
100%. It's probably going to be this week.
Yeah, they're due for both Watson and Hopkins are both due for a good game. Like you said, that first game right out of the chute, I mean, they put up some great numbers. They're bound to hit those numbers again. It's got to be soon.
It's got to be soon, indeed. Alex, did you have anything left on your injury front here? I got one more thing and then move on, but I know I cut you off to answer that question.
Oh, no, it's fine. I mean, that's the biggest thing that he's the only one that, luckily, as of right now, he's the only one that I'm paying attention to that could possibly be an injury. Everybody else seems to be healthy. I think I got my just desserts with my fantasy football with my QBs with Cam Newton and who's the other one that got injured?
Yeah, Cam's out this week too with a foot injury, but he was in an Under Armour ad yesterday. It popped up in my feed, and like Under Armour just posted the picture of him holding like this fake NFL football without any tags on it. Like there was no Under Armour like inscripted into the photo. It was just a photo with like "come buy stuff" like with Cam Newton. And I was dying laughing. I was like, this is some shit right now. Like they don't even want to embrace the Under Armour logo under them, but they're contractually obligated. They can't even get him a real football. Like, come on, Under Armour. Get your guy a real football. You're paying him $100 million or whatever the fuck it is. Get him a real football. You can spare the expense. There's got to be one laying around somewhere, but I thought that
probably have one in his trunk.
He might have. Yeah, why if you're Cam Newton, why don't you have a football in your truck? You never or trunk, you never know when you're gonna throw.
You know where AB should turn next to make a bunch of money?
Oh, that would be
freaking
XFL.
No, medication. Mental medication.
Oh, I was thinking the Carolina Panthers with an NFL team, but yeah, he could join Gronk with some medication. I mean, he
wouldn't give a shit. Yeah, it makes some money.
I love it. I got one guy, my kicker, Gostkowski, however the hell you say his name. He's out on our IR with a hip injury.
Yeah.
So guess who I picked up?
Boz.
I picked up the Boz.
Well, now, hopefully you don't jinx him like you did last year.
I know, and I texted Corey this earlier. I was like, I had to do it because he's the best kicker available. Plus, he hasn't missed anything this season. Last year I had him. He missed everything. He missed all the game winners. Fucking destroyed my team. Like could have had way more points last year just from the kicker standpoint. And so I'm taking my chances both on the fantasy front and for the Steelers' sanity. Maybe he's not tracked. You know what though?
You're the biggest homer I know, man. And I love it though.
Yeah, we're gonna be at O'Brien's on Saturday or on Sunday watching the game, and as soon as he misses a field goal, you're gonna turn to me and be like, "Get the fuck away!"
I'm surprised.
We'll drop him right on the spot.
I'm surprised you didn't pick up Nick Vannett.
The tight end?
Yeah.
I looked for him. Was he available?
I picked him up. I just dropped him though.
Yeah, well, that's why he wasn't available.
Playing mind games with you.
Oh wait, you just picked them up, or you just dropped them?
Yep.
Just now.
Earlier today, I want to say you have to put a claim in though.
Oh, already? I hate that.
Yeah, so don't wait to claim on him. Nah, wait till it's a free waiver wire pickup.
Deal. Yeah, when I can actually hit add as opposed to claim. Yeah, I got you.
Oh, but anyway, the reason why I did that is because Benjamin Watson is back in New England. I think Brady's going to like that a little bit. So, and my main tight end's on a bye, so I needed a plug tight end this week, and I'm going with Watson.
Watch Vannett have 2 touchdowns. Writing that down right now. 2 touchdowns, Vannett.
Hope so.
We'll take the win in Pittsburgh. Quick, so I want to move on to anybody coming back from injuries that we should be looking at. I know Tyreek Hill has been practicing. He's coming 4 weeks off of broken collarbone, so I don't think it's anything major yet. But I think maybe in the next 2 to 3 weeks he might be coming back. So anybody else coming back from injuries that we need to be aware of? And
Yes.
oh yeah, let's hear it.
Oh yeah. So Golden Tate.
GT?
Well, let's call it suspension/injuries. Just
Okay,
returns.
suspension/injuries,
So,
which that's a great segue. We'll get into something in a minute, but yes.
Yes. So Golden Tate for the Giants. I think he's a start.
Okay. That's it?
Well, it's one of them.
Okay.
Benjamin Watson. He's coming back for the
New Orleans? No.
Patriots.
Oh. Wasn't he with New Orleans?
Yep, I think it was New England, New Orleans, back to New England.
Okay. Yeah.
Chris, watch out next week. I have him stashed on my team. Chris Herndon, the tight end for the Jets. He's got one more week on suspension, and then he'll be back next week. I think he's going to be a big part of that offense, especially because he was last year's rookie, and then whenever Sam Darnold comes back from mono. The weirdest thing, man, is is he hanging out at high schools licking water fountains?
I mean, I haven't heard the term mono since high school. Like,
that's what I'm saying.
who is that still? I mean, evidently it's still around. I don't even know what it is, but you can still get it. So,
yep, hang around.
It's one of those things. The last thing you want your wife to hear you got.
Is he married?
I don't know. He looks like he'd be Mormon.
I could see that.
Look to be Mormon.
No, I think he fits the mold of.
I mean, what?
He's got the Mormon look. I don't know. Phillip Rivers, Sam Darnold. Yeah.
Okay. All right, we're gonna move on. So we've covered that. Talking about suspensions, Corey. Great segue. Vontaze Burfict. There's another name that I usually call him, but I'm going to spare it for the podcast purposes. Vontaze Burfict out for the year on the hit against Jack Doyle of the Colts. Catches the ball, goes down on one knee, tries to get back up, never really gets his legs under his feet, and just gets pummeled in the head, and with the helmet contact from Burfict. We know there's a history there. We know there's a pattern there. Let's ask a couple of questions here. Was it one of those hits that's like, yeah, he should be out of the year. He should have been ejected. He's out of the year. Was it one of those hits where it's like, he probably could have shifted a little bit, done something a little different? Does the crime fit the punishment? I mean, obviously Doyle got up and they kind of had some smiles about it. But what are your thoughts on the hit? What are your thoughts on the suspension? And then how do you think this affects the Raiders moving forward? Because what's his name? Chucky is not happy.
Well, here's the thing, is that if you take the hit itself purely as its own, the hit itself, not necessarily, suspend the hit.
No concussion is what you're saying. He didn't cause a concussion.
No concussion and no outright trying to injure.
No broken neck.
Right.
Right.
But like you said, he has a history. He's been known to do this kind of attacks in the past. And to his reaction after, like you said, everybody was smiles. When you do something like that, you did something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was an accident. The last thing you should be doing is smiling.
Absolutely.
You should be like, oh,
fucking
F, what did I just do? Like, is that right? What did I do? But no, he goes strutting off the field like it was a birthday party. I mean, yeah, the suspension's justified just because of that. Like this isn't the UFC.
Yeah, it's that's exactly why they did it, because he's a multiple I mean, this is probably the third or fourth time something like this has happened. They've already suspended him for a game or multiple games. It's just the next step. I mean, after this, he comes back next year, and a similar hit happens. I wouldn't be surprised if they ban him from the league. And as far as affecting Oakland, the sad thing is the guy actually he's one of the most hated players in the league, and I kind of understand why. But he's a very good football player. So as far as Oakland goes, they're it's gonna hurt their defense. I mean, I don't know how I think they're 2-2, which I'm very surprised. So maybe he is starting to turn some things around over there, but losing their middle linebacker isn't going to help.
And their former starting wide receiver in Antonio Brown. It seems like one thing after another for the Raiders. But as far as whether it's the right or the wrong opinion, from my standpoint against Perfect, we've seen this time and time again. We know, and if you've ever heard James Harrison, because James Harrison did play with him when he was in Cincinnati, he came out and he said, Vontaze Burfict is calculated. When you can see the field of play as quickly as a James Harrison, as quickly as a Vontaze Burfict. Let's take this play, for example. He had 5 yards to see Doyle catching the ball, being on one knee, and could have chosen a different route. He chose calculatively not to. That, in my mind, resonates to me. Like, at that point, he knows he could do something right or he could do something wrong. He's calculated. He knows the position. He knows what he can do. He can see that. He probably sees it faster than some of the other players on the field. And he chose to do the wrong thing. And that, to me, with the history of all of his suspensions, the hit against AB in the playoffs a few years ago, where he's coming across the middle, he throws him a shoulder and hits him in the helmet. All of those things. The time that he sacked Ben in that same game, and then he fucking rammed his leg into his shoulder, which took Ben off the field for a little bit. Intentionally hurting somebody because you're calculated and you misuse your calculation deserves to get you this suspension. So I think it's a reaping of the sowing, and this is the seeds this is what he has sown into the league. And I agree with you, Corey. Permanently banning him from the league to prove a point, like, hey, there are fuck ups, and then there are calculated fuck ups, and we're not going to tolerate calculated fuck ups.
He's purposely doing that, correct?
And absolutely. And if you're purposely out there hurting people, there's a difference between being tough. There's a difference between being the best and feisty. I mean, we know what defense looks like, and even Bucs fans know what defense looks like back from the days of John Lynch and Warren Sapp and everybody else. I mean, we know as people watching the game, we know what good defense, good tough defense looks like. But when you're out there intentionally trying to end a career, that's where we got to say fuck off. Yeah, that's my piece.
He's been doing stuff like this since college, and that's the issue why he was a first round talent. I mean, he started as a rookie in Cincinnati,
right? But and encouraged to do what he
was. I believe if he wasn't undrafted, he was a 7th round pick. I believe he went undrafted. Either way, people passed on him because of this issue was known in college, and also some issues came up in his interviews. So it's unfortunately just I think it's just the person he is.
Yep. If you're going to be tough, be great being tough. Tear heads off, but don't intentionally ruin careers. That's what we want to see. We want to see good, hard-nosed football, good tackling. We want to see hard hits. We don't want to see bloodshed. You know what I mean? That's take that back to ancient Rome. So I'm glad we covered that topic of conversation there, boys. Before we move on to the next topic, has anything come up that we've talked about, or any ideas of topics that you guys want to cover before we move on to sleepers for this week?
We're good.
Okay. We may or may not have covered it, but any sleeper picks for this week? Somebody that's just waiting on the outskirts, somebody that you want to get your teeth into. What's going on with that? And if we covered it, let's move on.
I mean, Benjamin Watson in New England. I mean, it's his first week back, but
Yep.
you know, Brady's missed having a legitimate tight end. I mean, I don't think he's an older guy now, but he can still play. I think I personally would call that a sleeper pick.
Just because he's old and falling asleep?
Yeah, pretty much. You know, I would last week I would have called Deontay Johnson from Pittsburgh a sleeper pick. I mean, he didn't blow up or anything, but he had a long touchdown pass. I think he's going to have quite a few of those going forward. He's not going to be a guy that's going to have 10 receptions in a game, but I think he's going to haul in a deep touchdown pass every other game or every third game or something like that. So
right,
depending on the defense. That's all I got right now.
Sounds good. Alex?
Some more might pop in my head, but that's all I got now.
All right. Alex, anything?
My sleeper pick, and
Jameis Winston. Jameis Winston.
No. I swear that guy's going to kill me. He is now. But no, my sleeper pick is the same guy that I've been watching this season. Wait for him to bust out is Trey Burton, wide receiver for the Bears. I think he's waiting to break loose. He's an excellent player. I think this is his second team with the NFL, and I know he's going to be trying to make a name for himself. And he just needs to get the right things going for him, and I can see him just destroying it all.
So
he had a decent year last year. He did. I think, kind of pointing forward. Piggy tail off yours real quick. That's my last sleeper. I did forget about that. David Montgomery, running back, Chicago Bears. He's been getting more touches every week, and with his matchup this week, I think this is going to be a game. He could have his coming out party. Let's say.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I can't actually time this up more perfectly than it already is. So here's my question to you guys, being the pros in the fantasy football league. Again, me being a sophomore, I picked up T. Gabriel today from the Bears, coming off a concussion. So here's my question to you guys. Okay, I don't know what that was. Coming off a concussion, but the week prior to that, he almost had 30 points. All right. Yeah. So do I start him in my flex position? He's backup quarterback. What's his name is out for the Bears, I believe, with a shoulder injury. So coming off concussion, but also coming off a 30-point game, only projected 8. Do I play him or do I play Sanu as my flex position? Talking about the Bears, everything that we just talked about. What do you think?
Neither.
I don't have an option for neither, so I need to know.
No, I'd say Gabriel, as long as he's in the flex position.
Flex position only. I don't have anybody else to play at my flex. So, by the way,
I think that'd be an okay place for Gabriel. Is come back. He could be good in flex. I wouldn't trust it in the wide receiver position, but a flex position.
Well, Sanu's healthy. He's coming off a 13-point game, so that's where my question is: are they going to try to get Gabriel incorporated early, or should I? What should I?
I would go Gabriel. I mean,
okay. There it is.
Sanu might be a little bit safer, but I think that 13-point game. I think he's capped at 15 points. I mean, there's just too many other people in that offense. I don't really see him ever scoring over 15. Really, maybe one random week. And especially with, like you said, with Trubisky not playing, You know,
That's what I could.
He might be a little bit of a safety blanket. They might try to run a little bit more this week. I don't know. Kind of unknown there in Chicago.
Well, I'm not going to.
It's a lot of the league, like San Francisco. Like they have a three running back thing going on right now. And then what wide receiver do you pick? Who knows? I mean, there's Debo Samuel, Pettis. So.
Well, I'm not going to play the safe. I'm not going to play the safe route, like not playing Winston
you
here.
Can't afford to.
I'm gonna go Gabriel. Plus, they're against Oakland, who now doesn't have their best middle linebacker. So maybe it's bombs away there for Chicago, and we'll see how the backup can do. So thank you for the advice. That's what we're here for. Let's move on to this week's matchups real quick. We got about 5-6 minutes left. Let's run through this real quick. And then we'll be on our way. We'll wrap this thing up. I know, Alex, you got to be done by 10. So let's start with tomorrow night's matchup. We got Rams at Seattle. Who are you picking? And by the way, I'm going to write this down. So next week we can revisit, see who was right.
Seattle.
This is a tough one. Seattle at home. Seattle's been very tough all year. I feel like the Rams can be pissed, though. I'm going to go Rams by 3.
Ooh, so check +3. I'm taking Seattle on this one. I think from what I've seen, like what Clowney's doing over there, I think coming off the Bucs game, though the Rams are going to be pissed, I still think that Seattle pulls this out at home. I think Rams are going to try too hard. But for Corey's sake, Gurley is going to get some touchdowns. So moving on to Jets versus Eagles. Who you got?
I'm gonna take that. I gotta go with the Eagles on that one. I mean, the Jets just haven't performed yet this season. I don't see anything changing for that.
Well, we know what Sam Donald's been performing. He's been performing mouth-to-mouth resuscitation. So I think we're both in agreement there, Alex. I'm taking the Eagles as well, especially at home.
Yeah, I think the Eagles are getting ready to hit their stride. I think they showed last week by being a good Green Bay team.
Yep.
I think they're going to be a big contender in the AFC or the NFC.
All right, we got Jags Panthers. So, Cam Newton's out, but the backup's looking pretty good. Got a pretty decent matchup. I think as long as Minshew's in there, it might be okay. So who you got? They're at Carolina.
Jacksonville.
All right, so you got the Jags.
Yeah, this one's a coin flip, but I'm gonna go Carolina. I think whatever running back has a better day on the ground wins the game, and I think Christian McCaffrey does.
Agreed.
And it's in Carolina. But yeah, I think either way it's going to be a close game. I don't think either one of those teams are going to blow each other out. That's
going to be a game that I want to watch aside from the Steelers at 1:00 this weekend. I'm going Panthers as well. I think the defense looked pretty decent last week for Carolina. I think Christian McCaffrey's really leading the charge there to make something special. So I think with that being said, they're going to be a pretty tough contender against the Jags, who again, what's the guy's name now? The defensive player that keeps holding out week to week with injuries and all this other bullshit.
Oh yeah, like now his back is hurting or whatever. Or...
I don't get it.
What, Jaguars? Yeah. Oh, you mean Jalen Ramsey?
Jalen Ramsey, yeah. He's trying his damnedest to get out of there. So
yeah,
I think that hurts.
He was at practice today.
Yeah,
but it still hurts the team. That he wants out. There's something going on. Oh, my back hurts. Oh, I stubbed my toe. Oh, my pinky hurts.
The owner doesn't want to get rid of him.
I know, but what are you going to do? He's got a contract to fulfill. So, by the end of the day, he's hurting his team. So I'm going to go Panthers on that one as well. All right. So moving on to Vikings Giants. Good game there too.
That will be a good game.
That'd be a true test for Danny Dimes, or was it Donnie Dimes? I don't even know. Whatever Dimes.
Mr. Dimes.
Danny Dimes. Yeah. That's a good test for Danny Dimes going up against that Vikings defense.
Yeah,
I think their passing and rushing ability is still good enough. It'll be a low scoring,
Okay.
low scoring game, but I do think the Giants are going to pull it out. I think they're going to get enough points on the board to win, but not enough to make it a blowout. But it'll be close. But Giants take it.
Corey?
I think Minnesota by 2 touchdowns.
Ooh, plus 14. Joe
I
at
think,
O'Brien's is going to hate you. I won't tell him you said that.
Minnesota's been running the ball this year because Cook's finally healthy for the first time in a couple years.
Yeah.
But I think they're going to open up the passing game and try to go to Diggs and Thielen more. And if it works, I think they're going to win by a couple touchdowns. If it doesn't work, then yeah, Giants might squeak out a win.
I think Giants. I think Danny Dimes gets his first taste of a solid defense. Taking nothing away against, of course, some of the other teams he's played. His first win was against the Bucs, right? We've seen what they can do this year. So they weren't not tough. I'm not saying that at all, but I do think that the Vikings defense gives him a run for his money. So I'm going to take Vikings. I'm just not going to go plus 14. I think it's a little closer than that. Maybe 9 or 10, somewhere in that ballpark. A couple of field goals difference, or at least bring it down to the wire. Let's get some action in the last 2 or 3 minutes. So moving forward, we've got Falcons Texans. I'm going to go off early on this one. I'm going to say Texans take it, and that's it. I don't need to back it up. I'm just going to say they take it. I think they really put up some points on the Falcons this week and shut down Matt Ryan and the Falcons. What do you think?
Yeah, I agree. Texans are going to take it. Not for any particular reason, just
that feeling. Just that
feeling.
That
they're a better team right now at this point of the season, and the Falcons still haven't gotten anywhere yet.
Yeah, I gotta say the same thing. It's still early, and I by no means am I a Falcons fan, but I was thinking they were going to be kind of the surprise and get back to where they were a couple years ago in the NFC because they were at the beginning of the year anyway healthy again. And the amount of dome games they were playing in this year, and that's where Matt Ryan excelled in. Something's just been off though, so I don't know.
Yeah, they're still on that Super Bowl hangover after being up 28 points to 3 and losing to Tom Brady and the Pats.
Maybe Matt
evidently.
Ryan had that one incredible year. I mean, remember Matt Flacco had that one too. So,
You're not wrong. You're not wrong. I do think though, let's give Matt Ryan some credit. I know you do. Just a really good, solid through and through quarterback. Has been the face of that franchise for many years. And we've got a couple other receivers, Julio Jones. I think Sanu's been there. I mean, they've got a really good, consistent base. It's just this year something's like the Texans. Something's just not clicking. So we'll see how that game pans out at 1:00 on Sunday. Next up, we got Bucks Saints. What's this? The second time they've met this season, or is this the first?
Saints.
Have they met the Saints yet? I can't remember.
In preseason, I don't think they did.
Maybe I'm thinking of different. No, actually. So this will be the first time they've met. Hold on 1 second. I don't know what's going on here.
Hello.
Yeah, I hear you.
All right. Got Teddy Bridgewater leading the Saints. What are your thoughts versus Winston and the Bucks? At home, by the way, in New Orleans.
Right. And I think the Saints are going to win because they have enough in front of them to do it. Like they have enough skill. They're at home. They can take it. But I don't think the Bucks are going to they're not going to let themselves be steamrolled. I think the Bucks are going to put up a good game. Their morale is high. They just took the Rams, and they're going to want to beat this team. They're not just doing the game just to do the game. They're going to want to beat this team. So it's going to be close, but the Saints are going to take it.
Corey, you?
I think we lost Corey.
Oh, is that why I was getting all that interruption there?
I think so.
All right, I couldn't remember. I couldn't figure it out. Corey, you still there? Let's see if he gets back on. We'll give him a minute. We can cut this out if we have to on the actual audio.
Right.
Maybe his phone died. I was getting some interference. That's why I was like, wait, what's going on? So, let's see. Give it just a minute. I felt like we were rallying through that pretty quickly, too.
Yeah, no, we were knocking them out.
All right, well, let's go ahead. We'll continue whilst Corey's getting back online. Maybe his cell phone decided to update, and then we'll get his quick picks. I'm torn with this one. This is not an easy decision for me because I felt like what the Bucs did to the Rams last week can't be duplicated. It might be. They were really hyped, but this will be their second road game in a week, right? Because they're at the Coliseum last week, and now this week they're in New Orleans. I think fatigue is going to set in from scoring 55 points. I don't think complacency is going to set in. I think fatigue is going to set in, and I think the Saints squeak this one out at the end of the game. So I'm going to be like you and go with the Saints, and we'll get Corey's perspective here in just a minute when he comes back online. So, but again, I think his phone might have died. And if we have to, we'll update this chart. I'll talk to him tomorrow. So, he just back in.
Like, we're still here. We're still here.
Yeah, we're still here. Miracle.
Yeah, exactly.
What was that, 99?
Something like that. But it's just the Bills defense. I have to go with the Bills. I have to. Even at home with Tennessee. They just don't have it. Not this year. They don't have it to make it.
You're taking Tennessee over the Bills.
No. I'm taking Bills over Tennessee.
Oh yeah, Bills over Tennessee. Yeah. Because that's my pick. I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not leaving the Bills alone. They didn't look too terrible against the Pats last week. I mean, that was kind of their Super Bowl. But that game finished. Let me see where that was at. That was 16-10. Brady, I don't even think threw a touchdown in that game. I think there was a pick six returned for a touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. Bills looking pretty good. Bills looking better than the Browns. Everybody focused on the Browns win the Super Bowl. Nah, Bills looking pretty good. So they stay healthy. Now, though, the big question is their quarterback out? Because I think he got clobbered, right? He got concussed.
Was that him?
Yeah, that was him. Bills QB. Let's type this in real quick. Josh Allen. Let's see. Oh, this is bullshit. Bill Belichick says helmet shot to Bills QB Josh Allen is what we've coached. Okay. That's bullshit.
Honestly,
he is still in the protocol. So, I mean, really, I think that was the turning point. Okay, so backup quarterback Matt Barkley will work for the Bills' first team offense this week during practice. So, highly unlikely that Josh Allen plays for the Bills to start this week's game. He's definitely in concussion protocol.
All right. Well, still, even with a backup quarterback, the rest of the team's fine. Quarterback can hold the team together. A second string quarterback can do the same too.
I think you're right. I still choose the Bills over the Titans. Not take anything away from them. I just think they're a better team this year. They're more solid. So we'll see how that game pans out. All right. So next is Cardinals Bengals. I know who I'm picking.
I mean, it's got to be Arizona. I mean, even at home, they're just a better team right now. I mean, neither one of them is a standout team, but I think Arizona will have a better chance.
I think you're right. I'm going with the Cardinals as well. Bengals, they're in defeat mode right now. They haven't won a game all season. Coming off a bang up game with the Steelers, we sacked their quarterback 8 times.
Yeah.
So, and on a short week too. So they played Monday. They're not practicing until today, tomorrow. So it's a short week for them to prepare for a 1:00 game. They're going to be exhausted. They're going to be tired out. I just don't see the Bengals winning this game. I think they're going to be 0-5. So
it's a game. It's a game I'm not even going to watch because, or even want to see because I'm pretty sure it's going to be a very boring game.
The only way I'd watch that if it's on Red Zone, which by the way I'm a huge fan of. Oh, Corey's phone just died.
Dun dun dun.
Let's see.
Tell him if he updated it, he'd have better battery power.
I'll tell him it said that. All right. So it is up to us to finish the last couple of games here, and then we will be out of here. I know you've got to go. I've kept you 1 minute too long already. Patriots, Redskins. I think this is a no-brainer. I mean, is there anybody the Patriots won't beat this season? Do they even play Kansas City in the regular season?
I don't think so. It's gonna be in the playoffs where it's the Patriots aren't gonna find anybody to really be their competition until the playoffs. It's gonna be the Patriots the whole way through.
Should have been the Steelers week 1. Ben, iffy elbow, defense suspect, didn't really pan out. So, that's how that goes. So, moving on, I don't think we need to really talk about much. Redskins don't even have a running back right now. Their number 1 and number 2 are down. Anyway, we're moving on to Ravens at Steelers. I know who I'm picking. I'm taking the Steelers.
Yeah, and I'm actually going to go with you on that one. I think, unlike Tennessee, I think Steelers do get a little bit more of a charge from being at home. Like, the morale is higher. They have the fan base. That's going to make them feel better. And then the Ravens, while they're good in some places, I don't think they have enough to overcome the Steelers at home.
No, I think our defense is playing really stout. Like we said earlier in the cast, I want the Ravens defense to play really well, but still let us win. I don't see them beating the Steelers coming off of that win against Cincinnati. I think we really put some things in play that's going to really confuse some people. Plus, we picked up a guy today to put him on the practice squad as a quarterback to kind of mimic what we're going to be expecting to see from, was it Lamar Jackson? So,
yeah.
Really, I think we're on the upward trend. We won. We went 3-4 or 3-1 in the preseason. We lost the first 3 weeks. I think we were still coming off of that recovery from having a coach die. We finally put everything together. I don't think we really have any fear right now. I think at this point we're just like, you know what? Let's just huck it, chuck it, and fuck it. So that's what we're gonna do against the Ravens, and we're gonna not blow them out, but it's gonna be a good game. So I'm taking Steelers as well. Raiders, Bears, easy peasy, Bears.
Yes,
No discussion needed.
That's gonna be a blowout.
It would be an upset if anything happens. The only way the Raiders win that game, though it's in Oakland, is if something majorly catastrophic goes wrong for the Bears and it ends up like week 1 where they couldn't score any points. So
yeah.
That I think is a fair statement to make. Broncos, Chargers. I think that'll be a good game. Broncos haven't won a game yet this season, though. Am I wrong?
No, they're 0-4 compared to the Chargers 2-2. And
so
I think it'll be a good game, and I really can't fall either way. I mean, yeah, the Broncos have lost every game, but they're a good team. They just run into problems.
Yeah.
And I think it's going to be a good game, and I can't really go either way. But just based on standings, we're going to have to go with the Chargers.
Going Chargers?
Huh?
I want Phillip Rivers to score as many points as possible, but I also think that I think the Broncos squeaked this one out in the end because just with the last couple of weeks, with the way that the Chargers have been playing, there's been some cool. What, they lose to Detroit last week or something? I think it was.
Yeah.
So I know they want to win. I don't see them winning this week. I think the Broncos say, you know what, we got nothing left to lose. I think they let Flacco go for it. I'm gonna go differential on this one. I'm gonna go Broncos. Just to be different. We've checked all the other boxes together. Okay, so just to be a little different, spice it up a little bit. That's the essence of life, is to spice it up and be a little spontaneous. Do I want to see Joe Flacco win a game at all this season? Absolutely not. But I think they take this one, and defense shows up for the Broncos. Where's my? Hold on. All right, we got a couple more games. We got 3 more games to cover, and then we will get out of here. Packers, Cowboys in Dallas. Great game, 425. I'm taking Dallas.
I'm gonna have to too.
back.
I'm gonna have to take Dallas at home, America's team. It's gonna be a great game. Dallas is just gonna have it. I mean, they have it together. They're hitting it hard, and I think they're going to put Green Bay on its heels.
I honestly can't stand either team for my own personal reasons, not just being a Steeler fan, but I agree with you, and I love. I don't know what's better, seeing Dallas fans cry or seeing Packers fans cry. I think it's mutual. But for this Sunday, I want to see the Packers fans cry because they lost to Dallas, because that is their, just like how it's a Steelers-Dallas rivalry when we play them. Same thing with the Packers and the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion. I love it when the Dallas Cowboys beat the Packers. Let's go on to the last 2 here. We got Colts, Chiefs. I think that's a no-brainer, unless Brissett puts up numbers, right?
Yeah, that's the only thing that can save the Colts is if Brissett has a Winston level game like he had last week. It's the only way I can see.
Is that the new description moving forward? If this quarterback has a Winston level game, he's gonna fucking win. Okay. That's the new standard. Jameis Winston, you are officially the new standard of the NFL based on your performance last week. If you have a Winston-esque game, you're going to win.
Exactly.
But it can only be week 3 or week 4. Can't be week 3, 2, 1. Week 4, Winston-esque.
Can't be the first 3 weeks. Can't be the next 12 weeks. Only this 1 week.
I want to know how many crab legs Jameis Winston has eaten this week. I'm just saying. I hope somebody gave him a box somewhere out there. If not, let's hold up a sign. We'll get it on a Venmo shit, and then we'll buy him all the crab legs. Crab legs. All right, I think we're both in agreement. Chiefs over the Colts.
Yep.
I want to see the Colts do well. I do love the Colts. I've always been a fan of them. I think it's a storied franchise. I do think the owner, Jim Irsay, needs to maybe potentially call it quits one day, just because with all the shit. But I do like the Colts. They're a storied franchise, but I do like the Chiefs in this one. Go Chiefs. Last, certainly not least, we have been through all the games here. Browns at the Niners. What are your takes? This is an iffy game because the Niners haven't lost the game yet, and they're due a loss. Let's not be wrong here. Like the Chiefs, we know they're not going to lose to the Colts. If they do, it's a fluke.
Right.
Niners haven't lost. Browns, not the best team in the league, not the worst team in the league. They're 2-3, tied with the Ravens here in our division, with the Steelers, but not looking the sharpest. It's a primetime game. It's a Monday night game. Let's tee this up. Will OBJ be wearing a fancy $500,000 watch trying to get a sponsorship? Nobody knows. Is Landry Jones going to show up? What, Nick Chubb, isn't he out for the year? Am I wrong?
Yes, he's out.
So there goes the run game. What are we thinking here? Tough to call this game.
It is going to be tough to call. I think it's going to be a nail biter. I think it's going to be a good game. I think it's a perfect matchup for Monday Night Football. But the 49ers are going to kill the Browns.
You're not wrong. I'm glad you said that because that is just what I checked, Mark. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are done with this week's Fantasy Brews on the Craft Brews oh, Jesus, how am I messing that up? On the Craft Brews and Geek News podcast. Alex, are you on social media besides Facebook? Are you on Twitter, Instagram, anywhere that the good kids out there can find you?
I gotta I gotta clean that stuff up for public consumption before I give that out. But yeah, Facebook's the best
Okay.
fine
All right.
right now.
All right. I know exactly where you're going this in the cancel culture that we're living in today. Let me just clarify. I had to burp. Sorry. Yeah, we won't even get into politics or anything like that. We're just gonna call it that. You guys can find me at at BroodBoy813 on the Instagram or the Twitter machine. I'm hardly ever on Twitter, so don't look me up there unless you want to wait forever to get replied back to. You can also find me on the Craft Brews and Geek News Facebook page. Hopefully you guys will go there. That's Craft Brews and Geek News on Facebook. You can also find me this weekend in Land O'Lakes at the Gulfside Hospice event that we are doing. I will have one beer and one craft cocktail, a carbonated craft cocktail with vodka, orange juice, and pineapple on tap, serving, having a good time out there with it. Like we said earlier in the podcast, go back and rewind. A bunch of other craft beer breweries and home brewers, fellow home brewers in the community that we are personally friends with. Could not appreciate you guys more. And Alex, thank you again for tuning in. Corey, I'll get your picks tomorrow. And we'll see how we did week to week. I got to go back and see if we've got any record of last week's. But this was a great show. I think it was really energetic, and I look forward to speaking with you again. Let's do this next Wednesday. What do you say?
Sounds good to me.
All right. And with that, I'm ending the show. Bam.
Click.
Click, click, boom. There we go. All right, Alex. Man, that was fun. I thought that was